Hi, students. I am so excited to talk to you about the Aegean art, or art of the Aegean. Maybe I should call it that. If you are trying to find this culture on a map, you're not going to find it because it's not. It's a region. It is, well, I'm circling it right here. It's the area referred to as the Aegean Sea. I'm using the term Aegean because I don't want it to get confusing with the Greeks. You know, the stuff that you see in all of the movies, right? Hi, Gerard Butler. Kind of have a crush on that guy. Anyways, with the Aegean world, we're looking at the art and culture before these guys, before the Greeks. There were people there, and they are referred to as the Aegean, or I shouldn't say they were referred to. This region, in order for scholars and art historians and students to not get confused and think of them as the Greeks, these are the people who lived around the Aegean Sea before the Greeks. You got it? Now we're going to look at two major civilizations that lived prior to the Greek civilization. We're first going to look at the Minoans, and then we're going to look at the Mycenaeans. Now, I've given you the term here on the top, the Aegean Bronze Age. I'm always hesitant to include the term the Bronze Age for these art history classes, but I put it because if you take a history class, it's often a term used to mark an era of time. If you're not familiar with the term, historians use the term Bronze Age to mark it different from the Iron Age, which comes later. I know. It's all metallurgy, and I put it in there just in case you've heard the term Bronze Age. This is around that time of the Bronze Age. And like I said, we're going to be looking at the cultures of the Aegean. Now, what's interesting, and more than interesting, you know me, I love talking about all of this stuff as it relates to other things we've already learned about. So we're going to be hanging out here, but the Aegean are living and thriving. The Minoan and the Mycenaean are living and thriving in the Aegean Sea at the exact same time as we've been looking at the Mediterranean, the Near East and Egypt. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Very ineloquently. Remember our timeline, which I'm going to add as a PDF to this week's module and announcement. The ancient Near East is happening at the same time as Egypt and is happening at the same time as the Mycenaean and the Minoan. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right. We have our framework here. Okay, quick edit. I added in this image of the timeline. I said we're having our framework here and our timeline, our good old timeline. We got Sumer, ancient Near East, going all the way up. We had last week, we had the Egyptians, Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, New Kingdom. And check it out, happening at the same time as the Middle Kingdom and the New Kingdom. So at the same time as the wonderful frowning portrait of Senusret III, our pharaoh Senusret III, we're going to be hanging out here in the Aegean Sea with the Minoans. And then at the same time as Akhenaten is going crazy, changing the religion, and then King Tut comes in and changes it all back, we're going to be looking at the Mycenaean. All right? So let's rewind time. Jump over from Egypt and into the Aegean Sea.